Hey, Joe Willie Cottage here. Right, so last week I mentioned that I was going to do a little bit of art spinning, art yarn spinning. So what I'm going to do today is I've split one batt in half from the ones I showed you last week. And I'm going to coarse spin this, and then I'm going to ply it on this video today. And then my next video I will do another technique of coarse spinning and what you can do with that as well. So it's a really simple, easy process to do. And I mean, generally you can do it with roving as well as blended batts, and you can do it with locks as well. I've done coarse spinning with BFL locks before. You literally just put them on the thread and spin them through, and then ply them to secure them in place with a thinner yarn. So I mean, that's a video that I will definitely do as well, because I have a basket full of a BFL mixed with, I think it might be a Chevy or something like that, and it's all dyed up, so I might as well spin it all because it's just sat there. I've never listed it, it's just sat in the basket. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do is this video, coarse spinning this batt as I go along. So I'll point you down now. It'll be a short video, it shouldn't be too long, and it should be hopefully quite easy for you to understand. Thanks very much. I'll see you the other side. Okay, so what I tend to do is grab myself off some chunks off my art batt. This batt's not really a gradient as such, so I'm quite happy with it coming off the way it does anyway. And I'm just going to gently draft it out. I don't want to draft it out too much because I don't mind if this yarn is chunky and thin in parts. So I've got my Freya here. So we're just going to feed the leader through the flyer now, through the orifice sections. And I'm using the acrylic yarn again that I used the other week, only because it's just handy, had it to hand, and it was just easy just to grab it. And you don't really need any specific type of fibre, but to me, I think a fibre that has a little bit of grip on there is the perfect place to start. Bear with me a sec while I just get myself sorted out here. So I've got my leader in there, and I'm going to just plonk that in with the thread, and I'm going to spin in the clockwise direction. Hold on a sec, I'm feeling a little bit wonky here. Can you say? Yeah, you can. So I'm feeling a little bit wonky. I've got my table converted into my bench today, because it's just easier, and there's a bit better light in here as well compared to the living room. So I'm just gonna, while I'm starting all this is the benefits of having a really long leader lead, because it means I can do all the touch-ups and the little finally fiddly bits before I go anywhere else. So I literally want, because it's going in the S direction, it's going to pull my fibres in a clockwise direction as well, and I'm literally just going to pull and draft and use my left index finger there just to hold it while I draft out these fibres. And I want to keep it as much as possible at 90-degree angle. If I was to do it as the 45 degree angle, I would end up with it more pinpointed. So this section here is fluffier. I'll just pull that out. So this section here is fluffier, where I've put the thick, done it at a 90-degree angle, whereas I've just done this section at a 45-degree angle, and it's more pulled in. It's a tighter fit. It's not as bulky and textured. So I definitely need to keep that at a 90-degree angle. Hold on a sec. I am going to have to get my camera out one of these days and actually do this filming on my camera. It's just so much of a fuss and kerfuddle doing it on my camera. So a 45-degree angle, and that means you'll create those thick and thin moments. Oh, it's like this batt's got self-trapped inside my thread. So I'll start again. Right, it doesn't want to pull. What's going on? Ah, that's what it is. Got myself trapped in that gap there. Okay, so just gently draft out the fibres like that, and I'm really not bothered that there's parts where it's thick and it's thin. I'm just letting the fibre do what it wants to do. At the end of the day, there's different textures in these. And just gently pull out. So I'll bring the camera in a minute so you can see a closer shot, but I just want you to see what I was doing with my actual hands. There we go. And it's just as fluid as that. You grip with your finger and draft out your batt and your fibres. Pull out. And then once I've done this, I'm going to spiral coil it for you. So a similar the technique that I used last week when I was coarse spinning those singles. So I'm just going to keep on going. There we go. Easy peasy. Really, at the end of the day, you're not really doing anything. You're just giving the fibre a way to sit on that thread or yarn or whatever you're using, and you're completely covering it up. There shouldn't be any gaps at all when you're doing this, because you've got these wide sections of fibre that are going straight on there. So I'll just grab myself another section and draft that out a little, and then move my flyer up a little bit and carry on. Just let that catch in there. Now I'm doing it in a clockwise direction because I'm gonna, when I apply it in a spiral, I want to stop hitting the tripod. When I apply it later on, I'm going to apply it in an anti-clockwise direction, so the Z. I mean, with art yarn, I don't know, I don't think it technically matters which direction that you spin it in. It's only that I know for a fact that I'm spinning this now in the S, and I know to apply it later on I have to spin it again in the Z direction, which is the anti-clockwise direction. I know if you were spinning it as singles, that spinning it in a Z or an S direction can be important, depending whether you're using the yarn for knitting or crochet or anything like that. So really the thread here, as it's turning, it's actually doing all the work for me. All I'm doing is gripping onto that fibre there to make sure that I can draft it out at the same time as gently. See, it's just sitting in my hand there. I'm really not gripping this thread at all. There we go. And just keep pulling. Ripping it into little chunks off your batt just means it's just a more manageable size to work with when you're pulling this out. See how easy that is? I mean, you can see I'm not tugging at it. There's hardly any effort coming from my hands to do this. So what I'll do is I'll pause the video here and I'll stick some music on, and I will bring you in a little bit closer so you can see. Okay, so like last week when I course spun up the Colline bath, I'm doing the exact type of spinning again. So it is a spiral spin. So you already know how I do it anyway, but I'm going to do this and then I'll move you around here in a minute. So for those who haven't seen it on the other video, then you can see exactly what it is that I'm doing. So I've got my other bobbin now, which is all plied up, set on my laser Kate, all course spun, and I'm going to apply it straight onto the exact same thread that I used to start with. So I'm just going to get going. See you on the other side. So as you can see, again, I'm just making sure that the thread sits quite taut up above my finger, and then I let the right angle of the yarn just ply itself on there. And it means that if I was to do it like that, I would end up with these gaps in between. But by making sure that my thumb and finger are pinching this yarn here and just sitting them like that, but my hand's just holding, it's just stopping this thread from flying all over the place and getting caught up in my yarn. So I'll just start that up again, and I literally want to have it at a 90-degree angle or a right angle, and let my yarn go in like that. See? End it with a tighter, so you can see it there. You get a tighter spiral in there. It just sits perfectly sat, all those little coils just sat right on top of each other all the way along. So that's, to me, that's the technique that I am looking for. You may want something a little bit looser. I don't. I want, for doing this specific one, I want to make sure that all those little coils, thick and thins, are all sat on top of each other, so that when I steam set it later on, they'll expand and loosen off and there'll be no threads showing through. So that's about the gist of it. Right, so that is that coarse spun batt, now plied, into spirals. A spiral thick and thin yarn, nice lumpy bits in there. And what I'm going to do now, I don't have one of those steaming machines. I do have a wall steamer. I've never tried it. Maybe I should one day and just see what it's like, but it doesn't have any attachments with it. But yeah, you can use a closed steam attachment. You know, the little heads on it, and you can just, for cleaning curtains, I suppose you could just run that without actually touching the actual wool itself and just steam that, and all the locks should work. And that's generally the same principle as what I'm going to do now with my kettle. So I'll keep my phone on and you can see the magic work, because it is really quite sweet the way it happens. The kettle is just coming to the boil now. I'm just going to turn it down. And the steam's coming out of it. So what I do is I just put my hand on the bottom part of my niddy noddy and let the steam just touch the surface of the coils, and you should start seeing them moving in a bit. There you go. See? Have you seen that moving? How cool is that? So I'll just let it hover over the top of there for a minute. Oh, sorry, just move the camera then. And then I'll just gently, slowly, move my yarn over the steam until I start to see it moving. And that's the heat doing its work and setting the yarn. It is quite magical. I do love it. So I'll get it down as far as my hand so I don't burn myself, and then I'll come over to the next section and I'll just flip it around. There you go, see, all moving. Flip it around again. It's just starting to move now. There you have it, it's been steam set. So I did the other side once I switched you off, and there we have one lovely white yarn. There we go. There's actually some neons in that. Those lime green bits are actually neon yellow, I think it is, or is it neon tennis ball? Been a while since I did this one. So yeah, so you literally just twist it around. That's a really good bit. Look how shiny that is. You can already tell now that that is going to glow in the dark. So there you have a coarse spun on a thread from a batt. Rip off your little sections and let it do its work, and that will give you one really pretty textured yarn. And you can use that in modern weaving and felting and that sort of things, because this is actually, I think this is done with Cheviot, this will, so it will felt quite easily, no problem whatsoever. Definitely no bamboo in there. There is some rose fibres in there, which is on the neon sections, and some other bits and pieces, but there's no bamboo in that. So yeah, it's really quite sweet, isn't it? So I've got the other half of this batt. I will do a core spin with this again, and I will add in locks next time, and you see how we go from there, or even threaded beads if you want me to do that this time round on the exact same technique, but to show you what you can do with it, adding in different textures and different applications. So drop a comment down below if you like this video, hit thumbs up and subscribe, and on the subscribe button it has a little bell, and if you want to hit that, then you'll be alerted every time I do a video. I only do 1 or 2 videos a week, so you'll never be inundated, and I always upload up my Instagram live chats, which you will find me on a Saturday morning round about lunchtime, usually about noon. I try and do it, unless I've got a busy day ahead, then I'll bring it forward an hour. So you take care of yourself, enjoy, bye.